Hello, Zeb Aurelios from Star Wars Rebels, and you're listening to Inside the Force. Carabas. Gotta go, Hera's here.
It is a period of Star Wars mania, as new movies, comic books, novels, and TV shows populate the system. Fueled by their love and passion for the galaxy far, far away, two exceptional geeks tap into hundreds of holocrons in order to bring you the knowledge and insight of all things Star Wars. Come and join them as they go inside the Force.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Inside the Force. Dave Cottingham here with Casey Cooley.
Hello, everybody.
And welcome to the first episode of June 2017, where we are dedicating the next few weeks to episode 1. And why are we doing that, you ask? Well, if you've listened to us the past couple of weeks, we are leading up to episode 8 coming this December in theaters, obviously, The Last Jedi. So we are doing similarly what we did a couple years ago leading up to episode 7, is that we are redoing our commentaries of all the films. Not just episodes 1 through 6, obviously, now.
We got 2 new ones.
But we've got 2 new ones to do. We've got episode 7, and then we've got Rogue One. We are doing these in chronological order again, so we have recorded episode 1. That'll be out this weekend as well. And the difference this time, other than adding 2 more films, is that we are going to have a guest with us each film, to a different guest each film to kind of play off of and bring up some topics that not only get Casey and I's insights, but inside of a guest that's either attached or unattached to the film. Because,
we need a little debate. We need a little...
There will be some debates.
Yin and yang.
Correct. And we also have mentioned that what we're doing is recutting a trailer for each film with the soundtrack from the episode 8 trailer. So what you can do here, if you're listening to this on the weekend or through the weekend, what you can do is go to our YouTube channel. It doesn't have a unique URL yet, but go to our website, our channel, YouTube channel link is there. Takes you to our channel. Subscribe to get new videos from us there. This is the first kind of launch of our new standalone YouTube channel. We were part of kind of a 21 Network channel that we've kind of moved away from, and we are doing one our own now, and that's part of this whole series is kicking off a new commentary series, which we're loading on there. And like I said, you can watch the trailer and then click the next link beyond that and go to the commentary.
Yes.
And Corey Cooley, your brother.
Yeah, he is.
Master Koo from the Jedi Trials and the Combat Guild. He is the first guest because he is a huge Darth Maul fan. Not a huge episode 1 fan, I don't think. But
I don't think so, yeah.
But huge Maul fan. So we had him on, get some great discussions going on for that. So look for that. Check that out. And again, every month from here on out, we will be releasing a commentary, a trailer, and for each film leading up to episode 8. We will do a double month with Rogue One episode 4. So those both will come out sometime during September, and so forth, so forth. So look for those. But this month, obviously, through this episode, we'll give you obviously the latest news, talk about some other things. This episode, we're going to be giving you our full review of Aftermath Empire's End. We have both finished that book now, which completes the trilogy, Aftermath Trilogy, written by Chuck Wendig. And then we'll talk a little bit more about episode 1 a little bit as we get into this month of June. So that was totally unrehearsed. I just went for it. So anyway, Case, I know a little light on news, but anything we got?
Light in the grand scheme of things, but surprisingly, there's just a lot of little leaks here and there of on-set stuff from Han Solo film. Nothing spoilery at all, but it's just kind of the same stuff we saw in the first batch of releases where it's the whatever desert-ish planet, whether it's Corellia, I don't know what they're going to make it become, but it's the same stunt double of Han Solo. Sometimes it's Alden Ehrenreich. I think it's even, but I think it's mostly a stunt double riding in that little, people are calling it the pod car, but it's probably more like a land speeder driving around. There's some video of him driving around. So it looks like an action scene being chased by one of the other ships that we saw in those leaked photos. It's actually being filmed by a drone, it looked like, which seemed pretty cool. And other shots of the set that was being built around there and all that. Someone actually found Warwick Davis hanging around. I think it was at an airport nearby and got a picture of him. So Warwick Davis is continuing the tradition. Wow. He's going to be in Han Solo in some form or fashion. And someone, I think, snagged a photo of Donald Glover as well somewhere. So, they're still filming. It's nothing out new. I am surprised that there's been this many little leaks. Although it is the same location, it's I guess it seems like a very publicly accessed, easily accessed area. So nothing else. We haven't seen anything else from the other locations really too much. Mm-hmm. Any of the films, really nothing new. Everything is quiet on the Last Jedi front.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah, and completely nothing on the next season of Rebels.
Yeah.
There's no talk on the animation side really either. Forces of Destiny coming this summer sometime, right?
Next month. Oh, yeah, now it's June, so next month. Yeah,
it's July, sometime. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, the novel news, really. I mean, everything that we've known right now has been released at Celebration, which is the Battlefront book coming in July, Inferno Squad, and then later in the fall, you've got Phasma.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, the comics are... Comic series coming out. We've got a lot of catching up to do on that, so we apologize. I'm getting ready to go on vacation here in a couple weeks, so I'm going to catch up fully on the comics and start getting regular on those again. But again, I've been trying to bust through these novels and get caught up.
Yeah.
I was looking at, it's funny because I was looking at my list of. I'm surprised I've gotten this. Through as many as I have. I've gone through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've gone through 9 novels.
9 novels.
Just in the past. Jeez. When I buy, I don't remember when I got Tarkin.
Gone through at least 8. I'm trying to think. What are the 9 novels?
So I started with Tarkin.
Mm-hmm.
Then I did Ahsoka, Catalyst, Heir to the Jedi, A New Dawn, Bloodline, and then the Aftermath trilogy.
Okay. Yeah.
Now the only difference, you didn't do Heir or Dawn.
Right. I haven't finished Dawn yet. I started it. First one I started when it first came out,
but you did Lost Stars.
Yes, and Battlefront.
And Battlefront. That's right, Twilight Company. So you've done 9 as well then, basically.
Yes.
9 full.
I did the Aftermath Trilogy, Bloodline, Catalyst, Lost Stars, Twilight Company, Ahsoka. What am I missing? Battlefront. So
Battlefront.
Yeah, so I've done 9.
No, you just said Twilight Company.
Twilight Company. So yeah. So 8. What's happening? Maybe I've only done 8. I mean,
Wait, you did everything I've done. Well, no, you didn't do Tarkin.
Yeah, so you've done those 3 that I haven't.
Correct. Yep. Okay, yeah. So you're at 8.
Yeah, I got to read more.
You got to read more. I'm telling you, this audiobook stuff is actually.
Did you start listening to it 1.5 speed faster than normal speed?
Did, but 2 is way too fast.
Yeah,
I did 1.5 for a little bit, but I was like, I kind of want to soak up what's happening.
Exactly.
So I went back to 1. So we're talking on the audiobooks that I didn't even know you can speed up.
Yeah.
You can.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Oh, what happened? What happened?
wait a minute. I want to absorb and feel, because the reader is acting a lot himself. Obviously, he's acting the voices, but then even like the descriptions. You heard some of it. He's like into like, and then she ducks, and then she's going. It's like, oh, you're feeling the excitement, right? And so it's. I just want to be engaged in it at real speed. So I don't know.
Yeah, I do. I've been some of the podcasts I listen to. I do 1.5 speed, and it's tough, but you can understand it. I don't do the audiobook, so I would probably be the same as you. Listen to it normal speed.
Yeah,
it's good.
So as we get into our review, we should. We should just talk about Empire's End. So this is, we both have been just cramming through the Aftermath Trilogy by Chuck Wendig. We both read the first one. We both agreed that the second one, Life Debt, was better. Mm-hmm. And then I don't know about Case, but Empire's End was by far the best of the trilogy. What's so great about this book is, in all honesties, now that it's finished, this trilogy very well could have been 7, 8, 9.
Yeah,
it's that good, in my opinion, and it fully. It does a couple things. One, it fully brings the Civil War to a complete conclusion. Mm-hmm. But in turn, then, it doesn't. I mean, the end of Jedi is not the end of the war.
I know.
Which is what we were made to believe.
Yeah.
For so long, right? And in the expanded universe at the time, Legends now, but at the time in the expanded universe, I don't know if you remember the book Truce at Bactera.
I never read it, but yeah.
So that, like, the beginning of that book was them ending the celebration of Endor. So it, like, literally takes place right after Return of the Jedi. And there was, a conflict that they wanted to go resolve. And then, of course, whatever it is it 5 or 6 days later, that's when the Thrawn trilogy, the old Thrawn trilogy actually happens, which a lot of people consider it to be 7, 8, 9, because the war was over, but there was still these remnants of the Imperial Navy, right, led by Grand Admiral Thrawn, that still fought for the Empire. So this trilogy, which is mainly about a group of rebels now part of this Republic unit, Imperial, basically an Imperial mercenary squad, almost
like bounty hunters in a way.
In a way, yes, they're hunting down Imperials, and led by Nora Wexley, of course, is the mother of Temmin Snap Wexley. Then you've got the bounty hunter Jaz and Mari, and then you get the 4 Imperial. Oh man, what the
Wrath? Oh my gosh, Sinjir, Wrath,
Velus. Sinjir. So, and then of course you've got a couple other people that pop in and up: John Burrell, and other bounty hunters. Dengar actually makes an appearance in this trilogy.
Yeah, Dengar has a very interesting character arc.
Yeah,
I mean it's very small, but
and he sounds Irish.
Yeah, well, I mean I didn't listen to the audiobook, but the video games, Battlefront, it always sounded like some Scottish or Irish or Australian. I don't know. It's a messy
brute guy, like a messy, rugby player or something.
Yeah.
I like what they hear say what she has to say. So it's
spot on, probably.
That's pretty good.
Let's do it, but
it's so anyway. as we get so this is I want to apologize up front if we spoil anything, and we'll try not to. But there's a lot to talk about in this book because, for one, overall case. Go ahead, you give me what your overall take of the book is.
I definitely liked it better than. I mean, it's my favorite of the trilogy. What I liked about this so much is that it really starts fast. It hits the ground running, whereas the first book, understandably, the first book takes time to get introduced and learn these new characters, and it was a slow read because it took forever for me to really get involved with the story. The second one actually was similar, about 100 pages. It took me about 100 pages or so to really get involved with the story, although I already knew the characters. But kind of like we talked about before in our Life Debt review, is we didn't even learn a whole lot about the characters in the first Aftermath book, and it wasn't until Life Debt until we did dive deep into some of these characters' backstories and some of their arcs. But Empire's End, you know them all at this time, so you kind of had that going in, which helps. But the third book definitely it starts fast and ends fast. Every part of it is fast. There's a lot of action. There's a lot of story. There's just a lot of great, memorable moments with these awesome characters that we have really grown to love and loved reading it. It's pretty fun, and it's still surprising that the original characters really aren't a huge part of these books at all. No. Yes, Ben Solo is born in this one, but even that is very overshadowed by everything else. So it's not even it doesn't even take hardly any light away from the story at all. So it's all about these new characters, and you really get involved with them. And Empire's End, it puts them through the ringer a lot, especially Nora and Jas.
Yes,
really get thrown through the mix there. They all do, but
they do pronounce it Jazz.
Jazz,
yeah,
okay.
Jazz Amari.
She's cool, man.
She's great. And she's a Zabrak,
yes,
right? So
yeah.
she's a Dathomirian.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. So I want to know more about her, mainly if she had any sort of connection to the Night Sisters or Night Brothers, any of that culture. So that's such an interesting culture. I mean, if that all died off after the Purge or the Jedi, I don't know, but after the Clone Wars, but I like some more stories about that.
So some of the key parts of this book, I think, which are interesting. So for those of you who aren't aware, the conclusion of the Civil War basically happens on the ground and in the skies above Jakku. So Jakku, which we know obviously from episode 7, and the place where we find Rey, is a significant part of the universe now, not just the place, the scavenger place,
right.
But all those ships that you see on the buried in the sand after 30 years, 29 years, once we get to Rey, this is that battle. Mm-hmm. It is a full-fledged battle between the last remaining Navy fleets, ships and stuff of the Empire, and of course the Rebel Alliance that is now the New Republic coming and fighting. So, but the underlying tone of this whole thing that, because I think this is what I really want to talk about, because this is the after. Okay, so the first book was introducing all the characters, and there was this crisis on Akiva, and Wedge Antilles is captured, and they're trying to free him. Blah blah blah. Book 2, Life Debt. They're trying to strike some kind of ceasefire with the Empire. There's basically a terrorist almost, or the Empire kind of stages a assassination attempt, which was supposed to be Liberation Day, right? At the same time,
Kashyyyk was a big part.
Kashyyyk is getting liberated by Han and Chewie with the help of Jazz and Sinjir and all that stuff. things go wrong. Mon Mothma gets injured, so forth.
Mm-hmm.
We get to this third book, and all of a sudden, the very first scene, the prelude or whatever, the first chapter, is about this little boy that stows away on a ship on Jakku. And the boy's name is Gallius Rax. And I think I may even mentioned his name in like the last episode or so, because I said we were going to talk about this kid and this person. But he gets tasked. Well, he slips on the ship, the Imperialis.
Yeah.
If you don't know what the Imperialis is, it's one. Now we know it's one of many.
Yeah.
That the Emperor had.
His personal yacht.
His personal yacht, storing all kinds of artifacts and historical relics. Well, he basically finds Gallius Rax and doesn't do anything but task him with a job. Mm-hmm. And his job is to stay on Jakku and protect this secret. Mm. And I'm telling you, when I first read it, I'm like, what? Jakku is more important than just the final battle of the Civil War. But you have to read the entire book because there's no hint, really. I mean, it's kind of some nuggets. I mean, you end up getting there's a reason. You just don't know what the reason is until the end, but you're getting this reason why Gallius is wanting to go to Jakku. Mm-hmm. But it's not till towards the end that you find out. Now, was it a satisfying reveal for you as far as what is on Jakku at that time? Was it something? Was it what you thought at first at all? I mean, did you have
not exactly what I thought it was going to be. I figured it would be some kind of weapon, probably. It turned out to be very. No, it was very similar. It felt very Star Wars to me. I'll say that. It did feel like very Star Wars type of conflict in regard to, similar to the other films. But no, I didn't expect it exactly, but I loved it. It's hard to say without spoiling too much, but
well, that's what I'm saying. The book's been out, right? I mean,
yeah, it's been out.
So maybe skip 10 minutes.
Yeah,
because we might talk about it a little bit.
So it's a contingency plan. This
Palpatine's
observatory that Palpatine had built, and he's built many observatories throughout the galaxy, which he says in the beginning of the book. But this one particular observatory is actually a weapon it's a way to destroy not just the New Republic, but honestly, part of
most of the Empire.
Part of the Empire as well. It's just kind of, if I can't have the galaxy, no one can have the galaxy. Is basically what it is. And so while Jakku it's basically like a self-destruct mechanism in Jakku, but the whole planet isn't going to get blown up. So kind of what I mean is, it feels very Star Wars in that it's like a super weapon that's going to destroy part of the planet, But it doesn't. The goal is to destroy the planet in a sense where you can't really live on it anymore, but not blow it up completely from space. But it would destroy a lot of the ships and military nearby. So, but while that's happening, the plan, I guess, it seems like, for Gallius Rax to get on the Imperialis with Brendel Hux and Armitage Hux, Captain Hux, General Hux from Force Awakens, future General Hux, and go off into the unknown regions where some other Imperial remnants are stationed,
right?
And to rebuild and then come back. So it's almost in a way to just get rid of the dead weight of the Empire and the New Republic, go off in unknown regions, and then come back and rebuild. So it's a very cool idea. I love that the Emperor was so involved with it post death.
Yeah,
post life, I guess would be kind of say. But he just built this thing way back when. Built this this plan, and it's now coming into effect. I mean, I was expecting, I don't know, like I was thinking, like, is he gonna have a clone? Is it a cloning facility? Is it gonna have something like that happen to him, or what? I don't know, but yeah, but it was a big super weapon, and what excited me most about it was the talk of the unknown regions. That the whole time Palpatine's been plotting the unknown regions, because we've since the beginning of the expanding universe. I don't even know if it was in the original movies when they came out, but since the expanded universe started, we've always heard about the unknown regions, and all the maps and atlases of the Star Wars, universe. We always saw outside of it was the unknown regions, and there's nothing out there. So, and finally, I'm surprised it's taken this long. I mean, Yuuzhan Vong was from the outside of the unknown regions. Thrawn always was told that he went to the unknown regions, but to me, this is like the first good story that actually goes into what exactly makes up the unknown regions,
right?
And it's so interesting that the Emperor took him years to plot a path into the unknown regions to where he can send some ships to safely live. That was very exciting for me.
Yeah. See, I was kind of under the impression, though, and maybe I just didn't hear right, but I kept feeling like his contingency was to destroy this, like destroy this planet and all its both sides of the war, but then go somewhere else and rebuild somewhere else.
Oh, live out there,
like pick another galaxy and start completely over. Because remember she mentions how, and what I mean by she, it's Sloane, right? Sloane's ends up because go to a place and start over where no one knows what the Empire was.
Yeah.
And that is all they know is just the Empire. So I just felt like, because he kept saying how if the Empire is lost, that game or whatever, then everybody's just kind of scattered. No one knows what to do. So you have to just end it all and start over somewhere else. So I just thought that's why when I asked you about the epilogue, where Sloane, takes over and gets into the Imperials and goes to this place and starts talking about her empire, and this is going to be where they start. I'm thinking, wow, so there's going to be like a whole nother
I'm trying to read through it really quick, just
galaxy and whole nother.
I see what you're saying, and that very well could be what she did. Because there's a line here where Sloane is saying, or the narration is saying about Sloane, that they're in the unknown regions, where it says, soon the Empire, Sloane, will be at their destination, which is the unknown regions. And it says, and soon it will be hers to take. Which makes it sound like, okay, so the unknown regions, but there's really nothing out there.
There is nothing. You're talking about colonizing and starting. It's like
colonize.
I get right.
She says later on too, like they could colonize it all.
Yeah,
which I don't know what they would colonize. There's no planets that they've seen so far.
But see that's the thing. It's unknown, right?
Yeah,
they don't know they don't know what's out there. They don't know if it's
so interesting. Yeah, that's
but it's still part of that galaxy. Like it's not not another galaxy, but it's true. It's that part of the unknown. They're going to be plotting and basically extending the map, but the government won't know what's out there. So it's like that's why I kind of was wondering about that epilogue. So I was like, eventually, is it going to be like she returns with this freaking armada, and you know what I mean, like years later? But it's not. It can't be her. It just depends. She's human, right? She's
human. Yeah.
But Hux somehow obviously comes back and gets part, or what, or is it what's happening is basically they're out there for so long they're like, you know what, this ain't working, let's go back, and then that's the First Order, because Hux at that point is general.
Yeah. Because by the time Bloodline happens, they're trying to come back.
At that point, they are the First Order.
The First Order, and they're coming
just
back.
No one knows about them yet.
And like looking, I was trying to refresh my memory on Lost Stars because it ended very similarly. Like they're in the unknown regions, but it's not the same characters. It's I think it's like a TIE fighter squad commander guy. His name is Nash. They're in the unknown regions talking about coming back, but that's a more personalized story with him wanting to seek revenge on the rebels on the New Republic. So some of them probably think, I don't know. We do need more story with this.
Yeah.
I mean, it ends almost Soprano style, like very much in the middle of an action, of a thought, not necessarily in the middle of a sentence, but like it ends, they're headed to the eclipse, the Star Destroyer.
Yes.
And they're like saying, Sloane's thinking, who's going to be on it? Like, are we,
who the heck is there?
Who's there? What's going to happen? And I'm thinking, like, I get so excited.
Is it Thrawn?
I know, that's what I thought, honestly, because I get so excited when I'm like reading books and like something like that's happening. Like, I feel like there's going to be some big twist. So sometimes I accidentally read ahead. So I have to like cover up the bottom part of the page as I read because I'm thinking something cool is going to happen, but nothing that cool happened in this. It just ended with them traveling to the ship. Because I'm thinking like, oh my gosh, Thrawn's gonna be there.
Yes,
that would be so cool if Thrawn was there, or maybe like it's like a Palpatine clone. I don't know what's gonna happen. So we need a fourth Aftermath book or something, or just a new. Maybe they're just books that are only about the Empire out in the unknown regions.
Yeah, I feel like it's a Throne, or I feel like it's a Sloane book.
Yeah,
like I feel like there's a whole story with Grand Admiral Ray Sloane that we just don't. That we're gonna get.
Yeah, I mean, they'll have to fill in the gap to see her end. She's not
totally.
I mean, she would be in her 60s, maybe at least
At
by the time the
least.
Force Awakens is occurring.
Yeah,
Which she could be around. Sure, she could be around, but it seems doubtful.
it does seem doubtful. I mean,
The way the Empire works.
but she even
she'd be
described
taken
it too. It was weird because she even said like, "What if the person on the eclipse thinks I'm not worthy?
Yeah.
They wipe us all out or something."
Yeah.
I mean, that's possible. They'd be like,
so it's
we weren't expecting you. We were expecting
Yeah.
Rax. So
Yeah,
off with your head kind of thing,
it's crazy.
But it's interesting how, they have those, you basically see the beginning stages of how they recruit stormtroopers, right?
Mm-hmm.
With taking them when they're young and brainwashing them, and
It was all Hux's idea.
Hux's idea,
Bird Hux.
his father.
Mm-hmm.
So he teaches them everything about that. That's why you get that whole legion of stormtroopers that aren't just soldiers like they are during the Empire. They're actually bred.
It's just-
Similarly to Jedi.
Exactly. And it's so funny because the kids that we're introduced to that are kind of the first.
Yeah, like Children of the Corn kind
Yeah, exactly. But they're like so like ninjas. You know how they
Yes.
describe they turn the lights off and they're like they kill somebody.
Yes.
Kill off who they kill, but the kids kill somebody in the
They
dark.
kill a bunch
and-
of stormtroopers.
That's right. It's just like, where are these guys in Force Awakens? Like, I feel like
Yes.
if these super elite soldiers were in the Force Awakens, then there should be no resistance. These guys seem
That's true.
super effective at their job. So something I feel like has to happen.
They get old and slow, I guess.
Exactly. We don't see little kids running around doing that kind of stuff.
No, they're not kids by then.
It's just funny because you have little Hux. Is it Armitage? Is that how they say his name?
Armitage.
In the audiobook?
Yeah.
He's in control of these kids. He's a kid himself.
He is, because I think he's only, gosh, he's got to be,
Is he 10?
he's got to be
Younger than that.
I think he's young. Sounds like he's younger than that.
Yeah.
Sounds like he's like 8 or 9, because he's his late 30s, early.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's even 40. Is he by the time Force Awakens happens?
No. Can't be.
Yeah, so he's 7, 8 years
definitely-
old.
He's definitely playing older than I think what the actor is. I think Domhnall Gleeson is young still, but that's cool.
It's very cool. So, yeah, you get the birth of Ben Solo at the end.
He's already throwing a fit.
Yep. And Han doesn't know what
It's
to do.
so touching, man. Reading that
Yeah.
with Han and Ben Solo. Gosh. Talk about dramatic
Yeah.
irony. Like you just say he's sitting there saying like, it's just you, me, kid.
I know. It's so good. But anyway, overall, fantastic book. The whole series is good. I recommend it. Highly, highly recommend it. Don't be discouraged because, like we've said, the first book is a little long to get into. But towards the end, mid to end of that book, it really takes off and it leads right into Life Debt and leads right into Aftermath, Empire's End. So, but just hearing, like you obviously didn't hear it, you read it, but hearing it's really neat in the audiobook. It's when the battle starts. I mean, everything that happens, you're just hearing the battle going on. I mean, it's just and if you play Battlefront, you can see it. I mean, it's just
the Ravager,
huge.
You see the Ravager also
see the
crashing.
Ravager crashing.
Ah, that's cool.
But it's really cool because of the Battlefront game. Mm-hmm. Listening to this, I visually can see the battle.
Yeah.
All the soldiers on the ground and
Starship Graveyard and all that stuff.
Totally.
Cool.
There's walkers, around, and so. But yeah, I did not expect the whole emperor twist. Mm-hmm. It was just good, and it was really good. Good story.
Now, in the audiobook, did they read the dedication at the end of the book?
No.
So at the very, you normally did the dedications, I think, are in the beginning of books, but here at the very end, the dedication is to Luke S., wherever you are. To Luke Skywalker.
Wow.
Wherever you are. So
that's awesome.
It's a clever thing for Chuck Wendig is dedicating this book to Luke Skywalker.
Because he couldn't write about him, probably. And it's interesting that it's funny that they said that there's rumors that he came by
for Ben Solo's birth and then left for some
and then left again. I mean, where is he?
We better get like a 10-series book series of Luke Skywalker during this gap because
what is he doing?
This is absurd. We need to know what he's doing
because now it's been a year.
Yes.
At the end of Jakku, it's been a year since Return of the Jedi. What is he doing?
So, Shattered Empire, he was in Shattered Empire. He'd had a little mission. Getting that little plant thing.
Yeah,
After that, though, he's gone.
I mean, I have no idea what he's doing.
I'm upset that we don't know where he is or what he's doing.
I mean, arguably the most important character at this point in the universe. And he's nowhere. Not helping. I mean, he did not help the final battle at all.
Yeah, he could have helped.
He could have. Could have went in there and force choked a bunch of people and forced through a bunch of people. And, man. I don't get it. I don't know what they have to be saving.
Oh yeah.
His story. They have to be saving his story. And maybe it has something to do with what's getting revealed in 8 or 9,
Yeah.
Then maybe we'll start getting flooded with filling in the gaps of between 6 and 7, what's been going on. But it's frustrating, to be honest. Like, because right now I think I don't. There's no books now that I can do that are in that era, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's those. Yeah, there's really not. I started the short story with. I can't remember her name. The one that Claudia
Weapon.
Delilah Dawson did. Yeah, the Perfect Weapon. And so
but that's really short.
It's really short. And it ties in. It's before Force Awakens. It ties into that. So there's really nothing out there.
No
Bloodline. That's about it.
Yeah, which is really good.
Mm-hmm.
That's Claudia Gray. That's who did that.
Lost Stars.
So I'll get Lost Stars eventually. But I'm moving on to Thrawn. I've been dying to get into that book.
Yeah, I'll be there with you. I'll take me because I'm reading some other books too. But
yeah,
definitely reading that.
I think I'm going to do Thrawn, and then I really, really want to do Dark Disciple.
Mm-hmm.
I've been wanting to get into that because I'm interested to read Christy Golden's style before we get into Inferno Squad because I really want to do that. Now I know you were okay with Twilight Company, but I do want to do that too.
It's a different author though, so different style. But Twilight Company, it was fine. It was good.
Yeah. Okay, so as we wrap up here soon, here in a minute, I do want to just kind of look back a little bit on our commentary since we had since we had Corey on with us. We didn't get a chance to really dive too deep, as we will this month into the episode 1 a little bit. But But one quick thing, Case, with episode 1, what did now that we have all 8 films, right? We have the 2 new ones, episode 701. But comics, books now that you've read, any perception change of episode 1? Has that happened with you at all? Is it a better film? Are any of the characters better or worse?
Well, right now, there's nothing leading up to episode 1 that really changes it. The Darth Maul comic, but that's not really changing my perspective a whole lot. What's really changing is the perspective of just where it goes from now, honestly. Thinking mainly about Anakin and Obi-Wan. Just thinking of the context about that, because seeing Vader in Rebels, seeing Vader in Rogue One, it just really solidifies the fact that Anakin Skywalker died at the end of Revenge of the Sith.
Right.
And it's, then just seeing, comparing that all the way to Phantom Menace of how he started, and it really makes you think. And also, once seeing it again, makes you think about the whole prophecy of the Chosen One and the balance, and making me even more hyped up and anticipating for The Last Jedi, because I hope, it seems like that's what they're going to be diving into, is the balance. Maybe the Chosen One prophecy. Maybe. We'll see.
We'll see.
If these theories are correct. But definitely probably the balance. I want to know more about that. And once we find out everything we know about the balance of the Force and the Chosen One prophecy, then, yeah, my perspective of Phantom Menace will definitely change. But also Obi-Wan, and just seeing his journey as well. This is where his journey starts, and we see... Now we have kind of a new chapter through Rebels with the episode of Obi-Wan and Maul, and just seeing how much that his arc has changed as well. It just makes me focus even more on Obi-Wan's moments and Anakin's moments in these prequels. So it's not really changing my perspective, but it's adding more context to the journey. It's adding more context and drama and conflict to the whole journey.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me is I totally agree with a little bit of the Chosen One aspect, because we're getting bombarded with a little bit of this balance thing with the Bendu and episode or season 3 of Rebels, and then the whole balance thing now with Rey and the episode 8 trailer and all this. But to me, though, now that Maul's storyline has concluded with his death in season 3 of Rebels, looking back now at episode 1, it's like, now knowing everything that's happens to him after, surviving the apparent death at the end with Obi-Wan, all the stuff that he did through the Clone Wars, his survival through all the dark times, and then resurfacing during Rebels, and trying to take Ezra on an apprentice. I mean, it's like but I mean, looking back now, it's like Maul was extremely powerful.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's underestimated if you just watched episode 1 and not know either where he came from, which we're getting that. But what happened, like, for the longest time, we thought, okay, he looked like a good fighter.
Yeah.
But he didn't survive, and he's dead now. And Palpatine's Sidious has got to start over finding another apprentice. But he took on arguably 2 of the strongest Jedi at the time.
Yeah.
Besides maybe the masters of the council. But you had Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, who ends up being, as you know, probably arguably the greatest Jedi. I mean, it's because he's the longest. Well, he sacrificed himself, but he to be able to defeat Maul, defeat Vader in a sense, right?
Yeah.
And just survive and not be corrupted ever. It's just Obi-Wan is becoming a very, very strong, if not the strongest Jedi. But Maul pretty much had him defeated, both of them.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty much wiped both of those guys out. And if that truly would have happened, I mean, it's like, who knows how the galaxy would have gone, right? Anyway, But I do think so. That's the perspective I have now of episode 1. It's like Maul is he is truly a terror in that movie, and a force to be reckoned with. And it just goes to show you a little bit about how much power Obi-Wan developed by fighting that. And I think it's completely irrelevant, especially to what becomes of Maul down all those years later. So it's and we'll get more and more into these next films, I'm sure, about how much things have changed. That's one of the big questions I have doing this again. It's like, with all this, so much more content, it's like you got so much more backstory or knowledge of where a character came from or where they're going. And it's just like again, when we get to Rogue One, it's like, even in Aftermath, we know so much about Mothma as a chancellor, and and what she stands for and stuff like that. So, it's awesome. It's awesome. So, but yeah, episode 1, we'll continue to talk a little bit about that as we go on the next few weeks, but the commentary will be up soon, if not already. And then, of course, July, we will move on to episode 2. We will have somebody that has never been on the show sit in with us for that. Our good friend Anthony Guglielmi. And he is it's funny because he went with this celebration for the first time, right? And on the way down, we had the TV and the van and all that stuff, and I think he was the one that said, I need to watch the prequels again. Yeah. I haven't seen the prequels in a while. And man, he was like glued. Episode 1, episode 2, episode 3, So I knew we'd have a little bit. I knew it was going to be hard to get somebody to do episode 2.
Yeah.
But of course, he raised his hand and said, "I'll do episode 2. That's fine." So we'll because episode 2 by far is probably on the bottom of everyone's list, if not a lot of people's list.
Kind of on that, listening to some of the Star Wars podcasts, like there are people who that's their favorite one, and
episode 2,
and they really love it for reasons like, oh, we finally get to see the Clone Wars happen. We can finally get to see all the clones. We see this and that. We see Yoda fight. We see kind of the Boba Fett kind of origin in a way. We see
very true.
So much
Mace.
So, Mace. So the points that they listed are valid points of why you should love it. It's just there's reasons why.
No, I agree. For a while, it was up there for me too. I really enjoyed it. Remember, a lot of people will definitely probably kill me for this, but I had episode 4 at the bottom of my list because
too.
Yeah, I was like,
I was bored by it. To be honest.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's old and the special editions really didn't. They added some good shots to it, but it didn't really change some of the bad stuff that was in it still. And I basically ranked it on, ranked it on, if you told me to pop in a movie, what would I pop in? Obviously, I would pop in Empire. And then I would pop in probably episode 3, probably Return, and, but so we did our list when we did it 2 years ago. And that's my list is from 1 to 6 is Empire, then Sith, then Jedi, and then I had episode 1, and then I had episode 4, and then I had episode 2. Your only difference was you had 4 ahead of 1.
Yeah.
So, but that's how I ranked them. Was like if you said, Dave, let's just watch all 6 of them. Your favorite order.
Yeah.
That's what I would do. And as we go on now, we'll reveal our new list with 7 and Rogue One a part of it. But no, I'm with you. It's like 2 has got some great moments to it, but I think we talked about it a couple years ago in our commentary. I think is like there's things that if it were changed a little bit here and there, I think it would have been a much better film.
Absolutely, yeah.
So anyway, episode 1. has actually moved on my list. Unfortunately, it has moved down. So out of 8, it's actually in the 7 slot for me.
Okay, second to last.
Second to last. So it was third last out of 6. Now it's moved to second to last at 7. And I think it's where it is for you too, right? Is it?
It still is.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's technically now it's moved down because it's out of 8.
Well, out of 8.
But yeah, it's
same position.
Second to
in a
last.
sense. Yeah. So in my order, I guess it has I'll just say 4 has actually moved ahead of it, moved up on the list. Maybe not just ahead of it, but it has moved up. And I say it because to me, the film has gotten better because of Rogue One.
Yeah. I am more excited to watch 4 because of Rogue One.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Exactly. So anyway, we'll get to the each month we'll get to adding our list together. All right. So anything else?
That's about it.
That will do it for us this week. We will be back next week, of course, talking Star Wars and bringing you the latest. So we appreciate everybody listening. Again, go to our website, InsideTheForce.com. Get to our YouTube channel, subscribe. We will be putting these videos up on there. Of course, putting them on all of our social channels, which is at Inside the Force, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Google+. Other than that, he's Kryptonian1138 on Twitter. I am DCunningham21 on Twitter. That will do it for Case Cooley.
Always 2 there are. No more, no less. A master and an apprentice.
Good.
Yes.
Episode 1.
So 1 quote. Yay!
And then, of course, they paying right to Palpatine.
Right to smack the Palpatine. They should have just been like, hey, that guy.
Yeah, that guy.
I think he kind of looks ominous.
You should have put a hood right then.
Yeah.
And then that's
He
it.
leaves, puts a hood on.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
Why
All
you wearing
right.
a hood?
Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend. We will check you guys out next week. He's Casey.
Goodbye, everybody.
I'm Dave. May the Force be with you.
Thank you for listening to Inside the Force, a Star Wars podcast hosted by David Cottingham and Casey Cooley. For more shows, additional content, articles, and the latest Star Wars news, please visit InsideTheForce.com. Inside the Force. For the Force, then all of us.